Man, this Hollywood stuff really just makes absolutely no sense to me nowadays. I have been predicting that Kathleen Kennedy would leave Lucasfilm for the last 2 years. I've been making videos on it like every day, every other day, until my hope just finally gave out, until the little flame that was left on my candle of hope for Kathleen Kennedy leaving Lucasfilm. I don't even know if that makes any sense. Pretty much I lost all hope that Kathleen Kennedy would ever get fired or be removed or somehow, some way just leave Lucasfilm alone to be successful. I've lost all hope for that. And then as soon as I make a video talking about Bob Chapek leaving Disney for Bob Iger to step in, I say in the video that, yeah, it's possible Kathleen Kennedy could leave, but it's most likely not going to happen, and I have absolutely zero hope that it would happen. Of course, now she's leaving Lucasfilm. This is crazy. Let's get into it. So Hollywood just makes absolutely no sense to me anymore. For some reason, Bob Iger, who was, he facilitated the purchase of Lucasfilm. He saw Kathleen Kennedy be put into this role, and he saw her run Star Wars into the ground. Then Bob Chapek came in. I don't think he cared as much of the entertainment side as Bob Iger does. So he kind of just let her sit there, and now Bob Iger is coming back in and apparently removing Kathleen Kennedy / Kathleen Kennedy's leaving. We all know it, we know that Bob Chapek didn't actually leave or step down. We know he got fired. It's the same thing with Kathleen Kennedy. Bob Iger, probably from the outside looking in, realized that Lucasfilm could be a really, really successful studio. And Star Wars, a very successful IP. Shocker, right? Star Wars being a successful IP. Who would have thought? If you have the right people running it. We saw it with The Mandalorian, Season 1 and Season 2. You put the right people in charge, good things happen. You put people in charge who actually care about the IP, good things happen. Kathleen Kennedy does not care about the IP. She's made that very evident. She only cares about pushing propaganda. You've heard the story 100 times before. After 10 years in the position, Kathleen Kennedy's reign at Lucasfilm is rumored to be coming to an end in 2023. Kathleen Kennedy rumored to be leaving Lucasfilm. YouTuber Jon Favreau revealed on his live show that his sources have indicated that Kathleen Kennedy will be removed as the president of Lucasfilm either before the release of Indiana Jones 5 or shortly after. You want to know something crazy? I don't really keep up with all this stuff as much as I used to anymore. I'm kind of getting back into it recently, especially because all this chaos, man. Like I said, I don't care about Star Wars and Marvel anymore. They both suck. I'm rooting for chaos. We get one piece of chaos with the CEO of Disney falling and being, given back to Bob Iger. Now we get another piece of chaos and Kathleen Kennedy leaving Lucasfilm / getting fired from Lucasfilm. Now I did say in my last video as well, when talking about the CEO of Disney and Bob Iger coming in to replace Bob Chapek, I talked about how sometimes the evil you know is better than the evil that you don't. So maybe we get someone who's even worse than Kathleen Kennedy. Who knows? Or best case scenario, they promote someone like Jon Favreau. Hopefully not Dave Filoni because he's into that woke stuff as well. But hopefully someone like Jon Favreau comes in and saves the day. This is what I have heard. I have heard the decision to remove Kathleen Kennedy has already been made and that she'll be gone either sometime before or very, very shortly after the release of Indy 5. Oh yeah, what I was about to say is, I don't keep up with this stuff as much anymore, but I remember Doomcock saying this. I do remember Overlord DVD saying that Kathleen Kennedy will be leaving somewhere around the release of Indiana Jones 5. She was going to oversee that because that's her baby. She loves Indiana Jones, all that stuff, even more than Star Wars. So she wanted to oversee the Indy 5 release, and then she was out of there. But, me, so many other people, Mike Zero, shout out to Mike, the prophet himself, Doomcock, all of these people have predicted that Kathleen Kennedy would be leaving for a long time because that's the rumors that we've been hearing. People slide into our DMs, and they're right about everything. And then they, say that Kathleen Kennedy's not going to renew her contract, and then she renews it. And it's only logical for us to believe them because it's only logical to remove someone who's running an IP into the ground that should be the most powerful IP in the world. And that is the most powerful IP in the world when you do it right. Now, I want to be very, very clear here. I cannot independently say to you and confirm that this is a fact. I will say that one of the two people that have contacted me has 1000% average on the things they've informed me of. Before revealing what two separate sources had told him, Campia explains what he had previously thought Bob Iger's recent return as CEO of the Walt Disney Company would help entrench Kathleen Kennedy even more. So he previously thought that this would entrench Kathleen even more, which is a logical way of thinking, which is also what I thought. But I did think that there was like a small chance that this could improve Star Wars, and an even smaller chance that this could mean that Kathleen Kennedy's reign of Lucasfilm would be over. But it looks like we might get both. Like I said, sometimes the evil you know is better. But I don't know how much, I don't know how much worse I can get than Kathleen Kennedy, if I'm being real. I don't think it can get much worse. And if they do hire someone like Jon Favreau, it could get a whole lot better. It could get really, really exciting. This is honestly just the fact that we know that Kathleen Kennedy could be leaving, is most likely leaving Lucasfilm. just that fact is making me excited to watch Star Wars again. I might go watch Andor now. I only watched like one episode of it because I just don't care about Star Wars anymore. This news in itself is making me excited about Star Wars again. And I know I probably shouldn't be, because even if she does leave, they're probably still not going to do the greatest things with it in the world. But it's going to be better. I had a lot of people write in and ask, now that Iger's back, do you think that means Kathleen Kennedy's gone? It's so funny how that's the first thing that everyone thinks of. Like, if the entire world is wanting your studio head, even a lot of the sequel fans want your studio head gone, you should probably get rid of her. I had a lot of people write in to me on that social media, in the comments, writing to me directly about that. And my response was, well, no, if anything, it's the opposite. Bob Iger has traditionally been a Kathleen Kennedy ally, all that stuff that they always say. Of course, every CEO of Disney is going to come in and back their studio heads, because if they were to come in and say, yeah, actually, the studio head of Lucasfilm, one of our most popular IPs and the most powerful studio in the world when it's done right, which it hasn't been ever since the Disney purchase. But if you were to come in and say, yeah, I actually have absolutely no faith in Kathleen Kennedy as a studio head of Lucasfilm, that's going to make the stock go down. What you're going to say is, yeah, we have Kevin Feige, we have Kathleen Kennedy, we have these all-stars running all of our studios, and we're going to be making big things in the future, big waves, all that stuff, So he has to come in and say that kind of thing. He can't come in and say, I'm not very high on Kevin Feige, not very high on Kathleen Kennedy. He has to say what he has to say. But obviously, here's the tweet from Star Wars Stuff announcing that this is going to be happening. Some people, saying that she's, done a good job. Thanks for everything, Kathleen Kennedy. I mean, I think we'll look back on it a little bit less with a little bit less hatred than we do now when it comes to Kathleen Kennedy, because we do have a lot of hatred for Kathleen Kennedy, but she did allow some good things to come out. The Obi-Wan show was a disgrace. Obviously, the sequel trilogy, it could have been so good, and it just wasn't because of her. Book of Boba Fett, absolutely god-awful. Clone Wars Season 7 was cool. Rebels was cool. And then, obviously, The Mandalorian Season 1 and Season 2, which this guy... Oh, yeah, he does mention it there. Those are pretty cool as well, but I don't think she had too much to do with that. And then there's a lot of people who are very happy about this decision. This is where the fun begins. Effing finally, hope it's not BS. This guy is sad for some reason. And this guy replies and says, you should never touch Star Wars again if you root for her. I agree. I 100% agree. This guy is Obi-Wan happy dancing. Comments are so odd. She's helped massively on things like The Mandalorian, and I know the commenters have watched Mando and enjoy it. See, the thing is, even if she did help massively on The Mandalorian, which I don't think she did, and all signs point towards her not doing that, all signs point toward the reason being that show was so good is because she didn't touch it as much as she did with the sequel trilogy and all those other things that she ran into the ground. But then you have the Book of Boba Fett, who's made by the same people who made The Mandalorian, and that was absolute trash. So I don't know. Like I said, sometimes the evil is a little bit better than the one that you don't. And maybe Jon Favreau could come in and make a lot more stuff like the Book of Boba Fett. Maybe they only know how to make The Mandalorian. I don't know. But yeah, all these people are very happy. Very few people who are not happy about this decision to get rid of Kathleen Kennedy. Obviously, let me know what you guys think in the comments. I think I pretty much know what you're going to say, but I still like to hear it. Let me know in the comments how you guys are feeling about Kathleen Kennedy finally getting out of there. It's been a long time coming. It's been a lot of videos being made, but we finally did it. We finally got her up out of there. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you did enjoy the video, please leave a like, all that good stuff, and I hope to see you in the next one.